Welcome to my MCITP video series. My name is Harsh Jangra and you are watching Federation Services. Actually, इसे हम Federation Services नहीं, इसे हम Active Directory Federation Services भी कह सकते हैं. Actually, I don't know why, but Microsoft likes to make a big name so that it feel a little bit more interesting, something like that. Say, I called it as a FS is a Federation Services. It is the same thing, so I should go for it. Now, the very first point that we are going to cover in this video, that is, what is FS4? What is a use? Is sort of kind of a forest trust or such kind of any kind of relationships. So, guys, yes, it is. But this kind of relationship is used for the specific purpose. What does it mean? मैं आपको आगे जब next point आएगा, I will explain you that why and what is the really use of the FS is in the network environment. Second is such kind of FS term, the Federation Services terms. The terms are like claim app. What are the claim app? What are the account, resource partners, account partners, and these kind of claims aware applications and all these kind of things. Some sort of words terms are there, so I will definitely explain you what are these all about. Then the next point is FS components. So what are the major components that you can use and you will use in that one, just like cookies, certificates, and these are the components you have to use always in Federation Services. Federation Services components में बहुत ही ज़्यादा important कुछ points हैं, जिनमें से सबसे पहला है certificates. Guys, if मैं आपको अभी से अवेयर कर देता हूँ इवन वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले ही कि अगर आपके सर्टिफिकेट्स में इशू रहेंगे तो फेडरेशन सर्विसेज यू आर नेवर एवर अबाउट टू मेक योर प्रैक्टिकल डन. आप कभी भी इसे सक्सेसफुल प्रैक्टिकल नहीं कर पाएंगे. दैट्स वाई इट इज़ रियली वेरी क्रूशियल इन द नेटवर्क. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, the all kind of thing, all that is all related to components. So hum cover karenge what exactly the components are. So let it be. And last is demo. Actually it is a demo. I will definitely share with you a demo. It is already pre-configured with today. Actually, why it is pre-configured? Because of actually from my experience point of view, I deploy around 6 to 7 times ADFS in the network. मैंने 6 से 7 बार network deploy किया है, 2 to 3 times in China and rest of the part in India. In India I did for the small organization, but here I did for 2 organizations, are big one, and all the time I have to face the problem related to certificates and all that. So after even such a big and a whole day I spend on the Active Directory Federation Services also today to show you the practical. So finally I did, and उसका पूरा होने के बाद मैं आपको शेयर करूँगा कि what is the use and what is the exactly result of the demo. The very first point is that we are going to cover today exactly the forest trust. Means as you see the what is the use for FS is, the very first is avoid forest trust. So guys, what is the meaning of this one? Just think about it. Take an example. I have one server here, as you know always, and because last जो हमारी वीडियो रही है उसमें हमने कवर किया है. सो यहाँ पर अगर मैं इन दोनों के बीच में, टेक एन एग्जांपल, दिस इज द पार्ट, एंड मैं यहाँ पर एक फॉरेस्ट ट्रस्ट FT मैं यहाँ पे बना देता हूँ, तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली द मीनिंग, जो रिसोर्सेज आपके इस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वो यहाँ पे जो भी आपके क्लाइंट अवेलेबल हैं दैट कैन एक्सेस, राइट? लाइक आई हैव वन रिसोर्सेज हेयर, सो एग्जैक्टली प्रिंटर रिसोर्सेज वॉट एवर, वो सब के सब यू कैन एक्सेस फ्रॉम हेयर. मीन्स हेयर यू कैन ऐड एनी काइंड ऑफ यूज़र. आप कोई भी यूज़र ऐड कर सकते हैं जो हमारा कोई भी फॉरेस्ट में, एक आपका नाम से है T, एक आपके नाम से है V, वट एवर. सो मीन्स जो T के यूज़र हैं, T फॉरेस्ट के यूज़र, यू कैन ऐड इन V. ये हम लास्ट में भी कर चुके हैं. तो एक्चुअली नाउ द कंसिडरेशन चेंज ऑफ द कंपनी. अब सोचिए, कंपनी चाहती है उसका प्रिंटर भी अवेलेबल है, उसकी फाइल लोकेशन भी अवेलेबल है. दिस इज माई प्रिंटर, जस्ट थिंक एक्चुअली इट लुक्स लाइक समथिंग एल्स, बट ओके, this is my printer. Now company wants that only he can use my files. मैं नहीं चाहता कि वो मेरे प्रिंटर को भी यूज कर पाए, बिकॉज इफ यू डन विद द फॉरेस्ट ट्रस्ट रिलेशनशिप, सो दैट यू आर कंप्लीटली ट्रस्ट ऑन अनदर डोमेन नेटवर्क, सो दैट वो ज़रूर एक्सेस कर पाएंगे. इवन दे आर ट्राइंग टू सी द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द प्रिंटर, दे कैन ईजिली सी दिस प्रिंटर इंफॉर्मेशन एज वेल इन दिस वन. बट The federation services will provide you the specific, kind of trust relationship or kind of comprehensive trust. That means अगर आपकी specifically only one thing you want to share, you want to allow them to access like only selected thing, आप चाहते हो कि या तो प्रिंटर या फिर आपका फोल्डर उसे एक्सेस कर पाए, तो स्पेसिफिकली आप ये कर सकते हो. दिस इज पॉसिबल बाय यूजिंग फेडरेशन सर्विसेज. This is the first example, or better I take an example. Yeah, take an example. I have a train company, means train making or such kind of parts जो ट्रेन के बोगीज डिज़ाइन करते हैं या इंजन्स डिज़ाइन करती हैं, वो मेरी कंपनी है. जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट. एंड डेफिनेटली यू नो दैट इफ दिस इज़ माई काइंड ऑफ कंपनी, तो मैं पूरा सब कुछ जो रॉ मटेरियल्स है वो मेरे पास तो रहेगा नहीं. डेफिनेटली लाइक पिस्टन इज़ वन ऑफ द बिग एंड हैवी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. तो उसके साथ मेरा किसी और कंपनी के साथ कोलैबोरेशंस हैं, एंड देन मैंने उसका पिस्टन लाने को कहा. बिकॉज अगर यहाँ पर भी अगर मैं फॉरेस्टर्स बनाता हूँ पिस्टन कंपनीज एंड मेरी कंपनी के साथ, सो piston company member easily can access the resources what are available here. Only if I allowed, that is okay, but they can do that one. Now all the time you have to provide the permissions and all that. Better you do one thing, make a web page, tell your developer in the company, in that web page the information of the piston is there, how many piston use, और कितना यूज़ हुआ है, कितने दिनों तक यूज़ हो रहा है समथिंग, एंड व्हेन इट विल बी फिनिश. सो ऑल थिंग यू कैन पुट इनसाइड अ वेब पेज and deploy that web page over the federation services. So what will happen if the next time if this piston company like T company trying to access, so no need to give the forest trust relationship so that they can access all the thing. वो क्या हो सकता है, आप specifically उस web application का link दीजिए. That means a kind of application that you deploy or using IIS, इंटरनेट इंफॉर्मेशन सर्विसेज. सो ये जो जो दूसरे डोमेन में यूजर्स रहेंगे, दे कैन डायरेक्टली एक्सेस एंड दे कैन डायरेक्टली चेक even without making any kind of trust relationship. That is the first thing, that is the first advantage. I hope you get my point. Second thing, the point is porous firewall. Now you know that if you make some kind of trust relationship and all this kind of thing, you have to deploy some kind of custom port numbers like do you remember ADLDS of 50,001 port number and something like that? Exactly, do not require porous firewall. Means the port number is 53, like the DNS port number 80. I'm sorry, it looked like something else. 80, then port number 443. So these kind of port numbers जो generally we can use always in the firewall, no need to create or no need to use the new port number for the federation services. So ये हमारे कुछ advantages हैं that we are always like to be remember in that one. Now the very second point connects to the web application. Guys, remember one thing, without any web developer you cannot configure federation services properly. If you are in the company and you really like to deploy FS, so you need to contact your web developers in the company and you have to give your requirement. आपको अपनी requirement देनी है. This is my network, this is my domain, and you want to create a federation services trust in between these two companies and something like that. So web developers can create such kind of applications in the web pages and you can easily deploy. And with that one, definitely it required system administrator people as well using to deploy complete FS. Apart from that, here मैंने example देने की कोशिश की है. You have two kind of companies like Microsoft and ADP company. It is a company that some kind of collaboration is like federation services. जो product है वो Microsoft का product नहीं है. It is a sort of kind of part of ADP company as well, that you create some kind of web development, such kind of things. So अगर उन दोनों के बीच में specifically आपको कुछ setting करनी है and all, like you do not want that ADP even have some kind of collaboration and you definitely allow Microsoft completely to access them. That is not possible. Definitely ये तो बात हो ही नहीं सकता कि अगर आपने ADP के साथ भी means collaboration में आपने कुछ communication या फिर design किया है, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि they can access each and everything in Microsoft. They have the specific thing, that means जिस काम के लिए वो वेब डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं उस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन को वो एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. दैट इज ट्रू. सो दैट्स व्हाई द FS is comes into the picture, that the FS can deploy that such kind of applications. Now the next thing is common web ports. जैसा कि मैंने आपको अभी बताया कि 53, 80, 443, 25, 25 for SMTP, 443 for HTTPS, and 80 for HTTP, and 53 for DNS. These are the very common port that we applied and to make entries in such kind of firewalls. तो FS को यूज करके आपको ऐसा नहीं करना पड़ेगा कि FS will create a more big issues for you, or especially for the system or IT admins that उनको specially कुछ firewall में configure करना पड़ेगा. Nothing like that. If you really want to deploy the FS is a quite smart technology that will use the same port number that you always. But guys, remember, the communication in between the Federation Services or FS is completely encrypted. Do not forget this one. Now the next thing is, after this we have the terms that we are always going to use in the Active Directory Federation Services. The very first is resource organization. What is a resource organization, guys? Resource organization is the place where you have the all kind of web application kind of links, you can say, or the web application deploy because of resource. Resource is such kind of material where the data is available, and right now we have a data, and data is what we have application, and that application we deploy in web server, or you can say IIS. एक्चुअली रिसोर्स सर्वर हमारा कंसिडर किया जाता है एप्लीकेशन से, और एप्लीकेशन हमने डिप्लॉय की है वेब सर्वर, और यू कैन से द IIS में. दैट इज ऑल अबाउट द रिसोर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो दैट वन, इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू बी कम्युनिकेट, सो द ऑथेंटिकेशन विल बी डेवलप्ड बाय रिसोर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. रिसोर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कंफर्म करेगा या एक क्वेरी सेंड करेगा अकाउंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को दैट दिस स्पेसिफिक यूजर इज अलाउड टू एक्सेस दिस पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन पेज और नॉट. अगर वो नहीं होगा, so definitely the connection will be it will not be established successfully, and it will drop your request. Or if it is allowed, so definitely he will allow. So this kind of concept is done. Account organization, guys, account organization is talking about our users, groups. So only the specific groups or specific user can access this specific application. Take an example. मेरे पास दो एप्लीकेशन है, एप्लीकेशन नंबर 1 एंड एप्लीकेशन नंबर 2. नाउ एक मेरे पास ऐप है, एक मेरे पास AP है ओनली. नाउ आपने कहा कि यूजर नंबर 1 कैन एक्सेस ओनली एप्लीकेशन मींस ऐप 1, एंड ऐप this is accessed by number 2 user only, or you have some specific group that you want to allow. So that account organization इन्हीं चीज़ों का ध्यान रखता है और कंफर्म करवाता है आपको कि ये यूज़र को अलाउड है या ये यूज़र अवेलेबल है, ये पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप में है या नहीं. So this kind of communication done by account organization. And do not forget, this organized resource and the account both are federation server, so that first request come to the account server will confirm the user. जब वो confirm कर लेता है यूजर को, then he will send a request to resource server to allow that particular user to access the resources. Then resource server send the request to the IIS, and once it is send a request to IIS, now it is finalized that you can access your resources, something like that. Next is the federation services, guys. जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि फेडरेशन सर्विसेज यू हैव टू इंस्टॉल ऑन रिसोर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड अकाउंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो फेडरेशन सर्वर विल do the job there actually. So this is the server that will be comprehensive communication in between resource and account. मतलब क्या है, जब ये आपस में एक दूसरे के ऊपर what do you say, रिलाई कर लेते हैं या फिर एक दूसरे पे भरोसा कर लेते हैं, रिलाई करने के बाद then they allow only the communication of that user that is login into the client. जब client allow करता है, then only they allow to access or something like that. So that is also done by services. Federation proxy. Federation proxy generally right now we are using the test lab or test environment, then we do not need to use federation proxy. But actually if you really trying to be deployed in the corporate sector, that time you need to use for the proxy. Actually, proxy federation proxy is nothing like the special thing. It is just kind of server to just think about the security kind of thing. He provide you more security when the user request come inside the network or something like that. Next is claims. Guys, it looks like a claim, like an insurance claim or something like that. It is nothing like that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Claims are what? It is a kind of such kind of application designed that which particular user have what kind of permissions to access the specific application. That is all about claim. किस यूज़र को किस तरह की परमिशन है उस वेब एप्लीकेशन में चेंजेस करने की परमिशन है या एक्सेस करने की परमिशन है, समथिंग लाइक दैट. That only you can confirm. I'm sorry, my brother. So that you can deploy this thing, these kind of things. Now the next thing is we have Active Directory Forest. Give me 1 minute, I will come back. Sorry folks, my brother is also facing some issues related to ADRMS. So that's why he is trying to talk to me on Skype. He's also a professional trainer. He's working with the Kerox technology with Chandigarh branch. Okay, leave it. Now come to the point. We are talking about the ADFS terms before. Now we have some certain kind of components that is a key components related to Active Directory Federation services. Guys, स्टार्ट करने से पहले कुछ कंसिडरेशन जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है, जैसे कि सबसे पहला पॉइंट, if you really want to deploy ADFS for the corporate environment, that means kind of production environment or the real-time scenario, so you have to think about 7 kind of servers. Means you required 7 means 1 is client and 6 is server. Forward, 1 is for resource partner, as you see, come back and check. 1 is for resource partner, 1 is account partner, that is 2 for federation, 1 is for ADDS, means where the account will be stored, or ADLDS, consider as that one. And then you required 1 is for web server. Guys, you need to deploy a web server separately, so for that you also required, and rest of the 2 you required for the proxy. So once you become total, you will be like the total becomes 7. तो अगर आपको डिप्लॉय करना तो आपको 7 सर्वर या फिर 6 सर्वर और एक क्लाइंट की ज़रूरत है डिप्लॉय करने के लिए. दैट इज रिमेंबर. सेकेंड थिंग, द क्लेम्स. जैसे कि मैंने अभी अभी डिस्कस किया कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली द क्लेम इज हैविंग द सम काइंड ऑफ यूजर इंफॉर्मेशन of what user, means this particular user is a part of this group, of the private groups or the OU or such kind of certificate as well. That is all about claims. Claims means you can make अगर आपकी कंपनी में CA certificate authority, हमारी जो after the ADFS we have a very next video, the certificate authority. In the certificate authority, you can learn that specifically user-based certificate, how to create it and how to identify the user using certificates. कैसे हम यूजर को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं सर्टिफिकेट के बेस पे, आप वो चीज सीखेंगे in the CA in the very next one. The next part is cookies. Guys, as you know that cookies are the temporary files, kind of temporary files which is having some kind of authentication information, like you're trying to using Gmail or what kind of things. So that time the cookies will be generated automatically. It is from the web server, that you know very well. Now the point is, the very first point that we are trying to discuss, the authentication. Now the guys, what is the meaning is, now take an example. This is looks like such kind of very angry guy. I'm sorry, say make some hairs also. Yeah, looks like good. Here's my server. Here's my web server. Is very hot server. Hot means it's kind of very busy, so many applications running, so many clients over the internet is running, and like I'm on the internet, and this is a very common example, and this is my very happy guy, and this is my kind of client computer. Now guys, जब ये क्लाइंट कंप्यूटर एक्सेस करता है जीमेल, हॉटमेल, व्हाटएवर, एंड माय वेब सर्वर रिप्लाई बैक विद अ कंफर्मेशन, एंड दैट टाइम क्या होता है कि क्लाइंट को एक यूजर नेम और पासवर्ड देना पड़ता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द ऑथेंटिकेशन. वंस इट इज वेरीफाइड, नाउ both things is verified. After the verification, the client can access all the applications based on the web server. जो भी applications available हैं और जो based हैं web server पे, वो access कर सकता है, right? Like example Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, etc. Now guys, कभी आपने सोचा है when you log in that particular thing, आफ्टर सच टाइम, आफ्टर 2 minutes 5 minutes, वो आपसे बार बार आपसे आपके यूजर नेम पासवर्ड क्यों नहीं मांगता? बिकॉज दैट टाइम द कुकीज विल बी जनरेटेड एंड cookies will be saved into partially cookies saved into client side and partially cookies saved into server side. The server will get the session information that is called the session cookie. It is actually called, guys, सेशन कुकी. दैट मीन्स अगर आपने एक बार भी रीस्टार्ट कर दिया अपने क्लाइंट को, या लॉग ऑफ कर दिया, या साइन आउट कर दिया, आपकी सेशन कुकी ऑटोमेटिकली ब्रेक हो जाएगी. ये सेशन कुकी आपकी ऑथेंटिकेशन कंफर्म करती रहती है विद द वेब सर्वर. दैट्स व्हाई it will do not take time to log in again and again at the same time. तो दिस इज रीऑथेंटिकेशन के लिए हमें कुकीज की जरूरत पड़ती है. ADFS भी ऐसे ही करता है. इफ द क्लाइंट इज लॉग इन, देन इट डू नॉट रिक्वायर to give the authentication again and again to the web server. Account partner. There's such kind of cookies will be generated as an account partner. That means, as you see, the session is generated. Now I have the account partner server or kind of federation server. This is AFS. I consider AFS. This is account federation server. So exactly when जब ये connected होता है, लेकिन उससे पहले request आती है guys अकाउंट पार्टनर के पास. जब वो यूजर वेरीफाई होता है कि ये एप्लीकेशन, ये एक्सेस पर्टिकुलर क्लाइंट पे जो यूजर लॉगिन है U1, क्या वो एक्सेस कर सकता है नहीं, तो अकाउंट पार्टनर विल टेल मींस स्पीक विद द एनक्रिप्टेड सर्टिफिकेट टू द वेब सर्वर, यस दिस यूजर अलाउड एंड ही कैन एक्सेस. That time also one cookie is generated that is saved into account federation server as well. The last is sign out. Definitely once you sign out, then how the web server get to know that right now the session will be disconnected because of the sign out option. Once you click on sign out option, automatically the session will be broken. एंड जब सेशन आपका ब्रेक हो जाता है, दैट टाइम पे एक कुकी जनरेट होती है विद द कंफर्मेशन दैट यूजर इज राइट नाउ सक्सेसफुली, or if the disconnection or what kind of error is there, it is session is break due to some kind of reason. That time also cookie generated. So guys, actually do not need to remember these all parts. It is just for the information that I want to discuss right now. The next is web application. As I told you that ADFS is not possible to deploy with the help of only with the IT admin people. That means we definitely require to deploy ADFS properly. हमें ज़रूरत है वेब डेवलपर्स की, तो आपको उसके लिए वेब एप्लीकेशन डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी. देन ओनली यू कैन you will become you can access the Active Directory Federation services, and these applications could be claims aware applications. These are done in the .NET Classic, .NET 2.0 framework it required, and more than also to 3.0, 3.5, 4.0 framework, whatever the framework the software developer wants to use, he can use right now. One last thing is certificate. As I discussed with you, certificate is one of the very important, not even very important in ADFS. Guys, एक बात याद रखिए, मैं आपको कुछ पार्ट दिखाना चाहूँगा. Let's jump back on this part. See this particular lady, Das Blonde, and she is trying to be use step-by-step guide for ADFS on Microsoft website. Exactly, जब Microsoft ने जब deploy किया था step by step, she is trying to do the practical, and she spent more than 30 to 40 hours sitting in on the virtual PCs, and means such kind of any VMware or any kind of VPC is the Microsoft product. 30 to 40 hours she spent, and after that she got what? She got nothing, errors. Actually, the problem is what? When she is trying to communicate with the federation services, automatically the request is failed. Whenever the client trying to be communicate with the server, the request will be failed, because as he said, .NET application could not be verified certificate. Application is also verified by certificate. That's why each and every part, means चाहे वो आपका अकाउंट सर्वर हो, चाहे वो आपका रिसोर्स सर्वर हो, चाहे आपका वेब सर्वर हो, चाहे इवन आपका क्लाइंट हो, all the places you required a certificate. And right now for the production environment, we can configure CA, certificate authority, so that ये सब प्रोसेस ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाएगा. लेकिन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने जो स्टेप बाय स्टेप आपको प्रोवाइड करवाया है, मीन्स काइंड ऑफ स्टेप्स, दैट इज ऑल अबाउट सेल्फ साइंड सर्टिफिकेट. दैट मीन्स ईच एंड एवरी वन यू हैव टू एक्सेस इट मैनुअली. दैट मीन्स आपको मैनुअली कॉन्फ़िगर करना पड़ेगा हर एक सर्वर क्लाइंट सेशंस पे अगर आप नहीं करेंगे, यू आर नॉट अबाउट टू एक्सेस योर एप्लीकेशन. सो दैट्स व्हाई द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज वर्क. The important part is to start with the FS server, the federation server required some certificate so that your application will be generated or authentication will be successfully done by federation server. वैसे तो प्रॉक्सी सर्वर होता नहीं है कंपनीज में, लेकिन अगर है आपके पास, सो बेटर यू शुड यूज इट प्रॉक्सीज. एंड द फाइनली एजेंट्स, एजेंट विल बी इंस्टॉल्ड only on the web servers, guys. Remember this one. So web server deployment of the web server required also federation server agents, still required certificate. And all the purpose of these all certificates is what? To encrypt communication. आपका जो भी communication establish हो रहा है in between the client server whatever, that should be encrypted. That is a part. Now let's jump back to the example and the scenario of exactly how exactly the ADFS work in the scenario. So as you see right now here, I have one client. This is my client. I just forget to put the name. So this is my client. How exactly he's working now? जैसे कि मैंने आपको example दिया था कि I have a train company and this is my train company networks and all that. And the client is sitting in the piston company and he wants to check. उसको पता करना है कितने पिस्टन अवेलेबल हैं और कब उनको चाहिए because of some kind of business deal or XYZ. Now, the client will directly access using the firewall. He directly access the web server because he just know what? He just know the web page, means web page address, or can say web address like HTTP or HTTPS, some kind of thing, and web application जो भी जिस नाम से भी है. Actually, client will send the request to the web server. उसको ये नहीं पता होता कि प्रोसेस कैसे हो रही है. When he sent it to the web server said, "Hey, I don't know you who you are. मुझे नहीं पता तू कौन है, and I will not allow you to access this one. Before that, I need to confirm first कि you are the authenticated person to access this particular application or not." जब उसको ऐसा होता है, he will send a request actually to the federation server. लेकिन अगर आपकी कंपनी में फेडरेशन सर्वर मीन्स रिसोर्स प्रॉक्सी नहीं है, so then you can directly communicate, else he will go like this. First you go to the proxy said, yeah, I will contact with the federation server. He will send a request to the federation server that this particular user trying to communicate this particular web application that you designed on web server. Federation server said, let me ask, because he is the resource partner, because all resources are available on this particular site. So resource को confirm करना पड़ता है that particular account is means allowed to access this application or not. क्या particular जो account से login किया है क्या वो access करने की permission है या नहीं. So he will send back a request via resource proxy and over the internet, and it comes to the account proxy. If account proxy is not there, he will directly send to the federation server. The federation server will check this request is coming from resource partner. वो check करता है कि ये resource partner server से coming है, because जो एक तरह से federation server है, once it is finalized, so this federation server will send, let me check. He need to confirm the account information from the ADDS or ADLDS. It depends on your organization what kind of thing is required. Once it is verified, he will send a request back to the same way to the resource proxy and again to the federation server. Now federation server via resource proxy confirm the certificate to access this one. Now the certificate from web server to client will be loaded first. Once it is loaded, this particular client is verified, then he can access the web application. Actually web आपके client को ये चीज़ पता नहीं होता, but federation services could be work like this. So it is quite interesting. So guys, actually before to start with the practical, I want to show you something. As I told you, मैंने ये पहले से ही बना के रखा है because it will take really such a big time to deploy. So that for that reason, I will show you the result and everything. Don't worry about it. But want to tell you that exactly how to get access. तो मैंने आपके लिए एक छोटा सा PDF बना के रखा है, बहुत ही simple and point to point in the 5 steps. So you just need to do one thing. How you will get this one? Open your web browser, go to this website, and the username specially created for you is this, and password is this. Once you log in, आपको वहाँ पर YouTube kind एक नाम से YouTube for student or YouTube video student something like that, आपको एक particular file मिलेगी. And where is the option is ADFS step to step for student PDF. So that is created by me, and in two format you are available, in PDF and in XPS. Just download it and follow the step properly. You will definitely get access. And one last thing I want to tell you, that exactly for this whole thing, let's jump back to the ADFS client and we'll show you the result actually first. For the deployment, how to access this one. Here you need to write down HTTPS first, guys, and ADFS, and this is the path, because this is the ADFS web. This is my web server. TradeResearch.net is my domain, and Claim app is my application that is implemented on web server. Once you press enter, so definitely he will send back send to the request. Now we go to the account, as you see, now account, then you go to the resource, then come back to the web. So that means the request first go to web server, then he will check a resource, then the resource will check that let me check from the account server क्या ये यूज़र अलाउड है कि नहीं, बिकॉज पर्टिकुलरली मेरा यूज़र है ashen@auditum.com, because he is a allowed person, and as you see this web server is verified, the website is verified and secure link, and it is completely encrypted. So this is the result actually you will get, and once you will get this result, that means everything is working properly on the Federation network. I will show you in part 2 how exactly you need to deploy. As I told you, I already deploy, बट मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूँ कि कैसे उसे डिप्लॉय किया जाता है और क्या ऑप्शंस आपको ध्यान में रखने हैं. दैट आई विल शो इन द नेक्स्ट मीन्स पर्टिकुलर नेक्स्ट पार्ट 2 वीडियो. And this is all about right now, and I guess you got the concept what exactly Federation service is for, and FS terms and all these kind of things. Wait for my next video, the part 2. In that one I will cover the practical part of the Federation services. Thank you so much video. Have a nice day.